How's that?
That's good.
Excellent.
Thanks.
We'll just wait for some people to load up and catch up with us.
Sure. So how you been? What time is it there? It's about what, 8 o'clock?
9 o'clock.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all.
So just waiting on some comments to come in. I've got loads of questions for you. Nice ones.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah. No bad ones.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
So I think my wife is actually, I think she's going to share it right now and offer her thing. So, it'll be cool. It'll be cool. I promise.
My right hand man just has clicked on there. Lee Cooper, John Tolliday from Wednesbury Paranormal, Claire as well. Type in what groups you're with as well, folks. That'd be fantastic. It's took a little bit of time loading up, but we got there in the end.
No worries. You know what? Every time I do these, I mean, I enjoy it. Well, first, we're not live now, are we? We're not live right now.
Yeah, we're live, young man.
Oh, wait a second. Take one.
Hold on, this one like raw as it is.
Like that. Yeah, no, man. You know what? This has been overdue. I mean, I do, as you and I have been friends for, I wish I was closer with you and a few others other than just Facebook. But yeah. You know, it's just an overdue mandate with you. It's been.
I appreciate you taking the time out, especially about 1 o'clock over there in California.
No problem. No, this is awesome. You know, it's a nice little break in the action. Been busy like everybody else. Paranormal is busy, but it's not. It's kind of like with the old virus thing that we're dealing with in the States. We're still under lockdown right now. We're still, where I live in California, you can go outside, but you just have to. A lot of places are still closed, and when it comes to investigations, unless you got contacts and someone says, "Yeah, come on in," but they're closed. There's absolutely, but it's getting better. It's going to get better in the next 30 days. So I'm excited about that.
I'm looking forward to these next 30 days and getting out and about there.
Yeah. Oh, this is sponsored by Starbucks. Double shot espresso. Gotta have it, man. Woo!
When we had a little catch up the other day, and you had that cold drink on when you sent me the live message, I was like, oh, I could have died for a cold drink that day.
Oh man, you know what? I've done a few radio things, like what we're doing today, and I've had like a cold beverage, beer, a little bit of whiskey, But hey, as long as you're not paranormal investigating, I think it's fair play. I think it's no problem. It's just two guys sitting back at a bar and just chopping it up and saying, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? It's good stuff, man.
Okay. For all my friends in the United Kingdom, George, some will know you. Would you like to introduce yourself and what you do?
Yes, I would love to talk about myself. I apologize, guys. You know what? First and most is I'm very high strung, very hyper. I have high energy. I love life. And you know what? I like to share my good mood and my happiness with you. And that's no BS, guys. I love being happy. Okay, so my name is George. I am a paranormal investigator. I've been paranormal investigating now for 7-8 years, right around there, taking it very serious. And I'll talk slow so I don't want anybody to get confused. I am a cancer survivor. And the reason why I got into paranormal investigating, I think, is where I'm at today, is because of getting cancer. When I ended up with cancer, whew, man, I apologize.
You just answered me first question, George. Carry on.
Well, I apologize. I have chills. When I talk about it, I get these chills down my arms because it's 18 years ago, I was diagnosed with squamous cell carcinoma. And that's up in the facial area, in my brain, on my glands of my neck. And it spread. And during the time that I was getting sick, I went to the hospital and they said, you got cancer, you got to come in for surgery, etc. Well, during that time when I went through surgery, now 18 years ago, the doctors, these really good doctors, gave me 1 year to live. They said, you have about 1 year to live. 1 year. And during that time, I I was actually getting ready for death. I'm really scared. I'd be crying. I went through depression. I went through anger. But, during that time, I had to go through radiation. I had some grand mal seizures. Grand mal seizures is when they're really bad. No doctor can explain why those happen to you. But during that time, the reason why now I'm in paranormal investigating so deeply is during that time, it opened something up. And during that time, nobody could really understand but me. I couldn't tell anybody what I was seeing. I couldn't tell anybody like, oh my, I never could see this before. I could never see something that wasn't there before. And it was, but the problem is it's always there. We just don't have enough mind. Like we use 17% of our mind, I think. And I do believe during that radiation and having grand mal seizures, it opened something up. So is it, to answer my own question, why is it me chosen like this? I do believe that during that situation, it opened up my brain a little more where I see more, maybe only 3% more. My camera's over here, sorry. Maybe it opened up 3% where I'm able to see more. So to answer your question, I apologize. I talk a lot, but
no, that's you roll. I'm rolling with it.
Okay. Well, that I can only imagine that the reason why, well, first, the doctors were totally wrong. They said, 6 months to a year. It all depends if it got in your glands. If it hit your glands, we got problems. We won't know for about 6 months to a year. And after that, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 18 years later, God help America and this whole world, because I am a bowl of energy. And now, you know what? I love life every single day. And I think the advantage of me being a paranormal investigator that I've chose to either go bowling every day or paranormal investigate every day. I choose to paranormal investigate every day if I can. And it's because it's so beautiful. Paranormal investigating is just another way of saying, you know what, guys? My God, we don't just leave here. They don't just bury us. We actually go on, because when you guys get your first EVP, when you ask a question or whatever you do in the paranormal world, and you get that little answer on a recorder, there's something after we leave here, people. So you know what? There's no need to get depressed or sad. Just think, okay, I'm ready for my next journey. Let's go.
It's took me nearly 3.5 days just to get through 60 odd, where are we, camera?
Yeah.
60 odd EVPs.
Yeah.
And it took me 3.5 days solid.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. Are you okay for some questions now? Thank you for sharing as well, Cara. You was more than welcome to join in if you want to jump over his shoulder as well.
Absolutely. Anytime she wants. I'm just in the dining room. I don't mind.
Oh, excellent. You have answered the first question of how did you get into the paranormal field, and that is amazing.
Thank you.
I had quite heightened sensitivity with myself, where you had this and it was heightened.
Right.
I had the neck and a spinal cord injury, and I actually had a spinal cord bleed. And the chances of that was like 5 million to 1, but that again heightened it. But that was a knock onto the head as well, which did heighten it. But I have had it since I was a child.
Right.
But it just highlighted it even more. Right, let's get to a question. How does your day, George, in the paranormal? How does the paranormal day for you affect you day by day? So how much is it involved, would you say?
What, paranormal? Just how much does it involve me each day? It involves me every single day. And the reason being is I never used to, something so simple. Is very simple, people, is, we always feel that we just ground ourselves before we go paranormal investigating. Not true. You should ground yourself every single day when you wake up. Every day when you wake up, you should probably ground yourself, because you don't know what you're going to run into. It could be a negative person that's on this side of the veil. It could be just you hitting a red light at a traffic stop, being late for work so you don't get so angry and mad. So I carry the paranormal field every single day with me. It doesn't mean that you have to. I don't use the word hunt. I don't like the word hunting ghosts. I think that's disrespectful. But I think even though I don't paranormal investigate, I still believe that you need to ground yourself. So, and if it wasn't for paranormal investigations, I definitely wouldn't be grounding myself every day. It's actually changed me also. Every day I wake up with complete kindness with my heart. And I'm not just saying this. You got to treat people with the highest respect if you can, please. But you also have to go into every situation that you meet with kindness. Now, paranormal investigating is kindness 24/7. You have to have kindness for you to get the right answers or just to have a great time, in paranormal investigating. So I carry it with me every single day, even though if I'm not paranormal investigating, I carry kindness, love, respect for anybody that's even on this side of the veil. It just makes you a better person. And the day I do die and the day that I accept my death or whatever, I want to be that spirit that people go, hey, where's George today? Hey, I'm over here. I'm over here. I want to be the kind spirit. I want to be that spirit that's very kind.
Excellent. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Besides from Cara, the wife, who do you connect more with in the paranormal unity?
Oh gosh, you know what? You're not okay. Seriously, don't be mad at me, okay? It's you.
Wow.
No, let me look. There's a lot of people in my life when it comes to para-unity, a paranormal investigation. But see, people don't know the connection that you and I have had. And since I started this paranormal journey and on Facebook journey, you've always been there for me. And now there's been a lot of people there for me. But you and I have talked where you're laying in bed and you're half naked. I haven't, and guys, don't take it wrong. This gentleman is always there for me. And you know what? I have to say it's you. I mean, I'm not just saying that. I mean, there's
a massive connection there. We're very like for like on with the high energy when you're out there on the investigating side of it, the paranormal world.
It's everything.
I'll explain to the people what you mean with the naked in bed. It's just the time difference is 8 hours. But okay. I'm always able to talk with you. So when you do a live feed and contact me, I'm like, sit up straight away and have a chat.
No, and I, that's one thing about me, guys. I will joke around. Look at the gentleman that I'm speaking to today, my man. He's my man. I tell you, our time difference is about 8 to 9 hours. So if I get home from work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and next thing you know, I'm giving this gentleman a call, he's in bed. But you know what he does? He wakes up. He picks up his phone, and of course, he's in bed. So don't take it rude. It's the fact that he's been there. He doesn't have to answer the phone. So that's where I'm at.
You've blown me away with that answer. Thank you very much. And likewise, I'm back to you.
Yeah, it's not about me.
Let me see where we're at. Where would you be looking at yourself when we can get out and about on the next location wise when everything's up and running?
No worries. Well, right now we have been so Kara and I, my wife, Kara, we have been investigating. We went out investigating 3 weeks ago at this hotel. It's under lockdown. It's because of the virus. It's closed down right now because of the virus. And they gave us full opportunity to investigate. And we didn't go this weekend. We're actually going this week. But the very first place, as soon as we get out of here, it's just there's absolutely no one place that I want to go to. I just want to I want to go out more. I make excuses. Ever since this virus being locked down, the only time I'd go investigate is, when I'm just like, oh, let's go investigate now. Let's go here today or tomorrow. I want to do more of it. So there's no like one place I want to get to, but there's a bunch more I want to go to. I don't know if you saw where you're at in the UK. Do you guys get Ghost Hunters yet? Do you guys get to watch Ghost Hunters yet? The new Ghost Hunters?
I think they do. There's that many systems that they use, like with the program setups. There's Amazon, there's Prime, Sky, and you've got all the free sats as well.
Right. Well, there's a place.
Depends where it peels off and who's picking it up. You got Pluto TV, which I was on the other night, which I think I filmed that about 5 years ago. And I just seen it. I was out in the garden and I looked and the telly was on and I could see myself on the telly while I was doing the garden. I was like,
isn't it? I mean, not to compare. I get it. We both done that TV thing, but isn't it a weird situation? It's like you see yourself. It's like, oh my God, I look like crap. What am I doing? But
we'll keep your hands still and all that as well.
Yeah.
The next question for you, George. Let me see. The funniest moments on a paranormal investigation and the traumatic experience on a paranormal investigation, either end of the scale.
No problem. Okay, so we're going to go with, okay, guys, check it out. So about 3 weeks, this just happened 3 weeks ago. Paranormal investigating, as we all know, we get startled We get scared. We're normal human beings. When we're not ready for it, we're going to scream. Well, we were investigating about 2 weeks ago, and this just happened. It's the most funniest thing in the world. Well, my wife and I are investigating. We went into the elevator to go back up on the second or third floor. And as I'm entering this elevator, it's on my Facebook now. We have it listed. It's kind of like an evidence review. And something either went through me one way or the other. And it was like a 9-volt battery. It hit my body. When you put a 9-volt battery as a child on your tongue, that's what it felt like. And I screamed so loud coming out of the elevator. And I screamed like a girl. I was so scared. And so my wife, she's like cracking up. She's like, oh my God, what kind of paranormal investigator are you? What's wrong with you? You're screaming like a girl. That part I had to edit out. But it went on for about, oh God, at least 5 minutes where I was so scared and startled. I'm taking my stuff off. I'm like, I'm done. I want to get out of here. I'm scared. And that's the worst thing is like, I lost my man card. I lost my man card when it came to being a paranormal investigator. But, that just happened to me. And here I get my high pitch as a girl. I was scared, man. And we went back to investigate, and it was a lot of fun. But I was startled for the rest of the night because we haven't been out investigating in such a long time due to the virus that I wasn't ready for that. And, it's one thing when you go out fishing, compared to fishing, you catch a fish every day. And then also you stop fishing for a bit, and you go out and fish and you catch your very first fish. You're excited. You're like, oh my God. And that's what it felt like. Now, on a flip side, the worst experience is, I hate bringing this up, guys, but I'm just going to go for it, is when I did an episode with Ghost Adventures, it was on season 16, and now they're on season 19, episode number 3. And it was at the Kennedy Mines in Jackson, California with Ghost Adventures. And I'll tell you what, that was probably the worst, and it still affects me to this day. And that's no joke. When you get scratched or something happens to you physically that you're not ready for, it'll stay with you for the rest of your days online. At least it's been with me now for a couple of years. It has stuck with me to this day. And it's something that you'll just never forget because it's something that you just, it's one thing to be a man or a woman, but to be a human being, and that's something you feel like has gotten inside you. Yeah. It's something that you just can't dismiss it from your body. It stays with you.
It can be overexpressive as well sometimes and too strong.
It's very strong. And I do believe
used to having your protection up a little bit and not letting it blend too much.
Exactly. And, everybody has their opinions. But when I was talking to Zach from Ghost Adventures, we'll just say Zach. I don't have to keep on saying Ghost Adventures. But Zach and I were talking for a little bit. And, he had an experience exactly the same thing. And when we talked, and he was there for me even after the filming and stuff. He told me if I ever need to talk to him or something like that, just to give him a call, whatever it may be, because it's something that him and I experience as brothers, as in the paranormal, that is, that we both have been, I want to say attacked. I hate to use that word attacked, but have been touched negative way from the paranormal. And it was something that's going to stick with us for the rest of our days.
And again, that's a learning curve as we're moving forward, isn't it? So you get to know what's going on in and around for next time you go to another location when you get that vibe. I've got a question coming in from a viewer, Eddie Frey. It says, what's your thoughts on possessions?
Yeah, if you're talking about my thought on possession, I do believe my thought is, yes, it's there. Absolutely, it does happen. I do believe, it has a lot to do with us, though. It's again not about investigations. It's about what can happen to you is what you bring into any location. If you go to a location and I feel that hopefully I'm answering it the right way. If you go to a location and you're having a really bad day, you're feeling ugly, you're mad, you're angry at the world. I do believe that you're going to actually attract anything that might be negative, and they're going to leech onto you, and that's where that can happen. Possession wise, it could be good or bad. I mean, I've had good possessions. I mean, I've cried and but at the same time, it could go both ways. It could be good or bad. It's what you bring into the location or in life. I mean, you can walk down the street, and just because you don't see the spirit in front of you, I assure you, he or she's right there walking with you. I believe that, you can't just have a couple of You can't have a couple of spirits walking around. There's millions.
Yeah.
This planet is so old that
I was trying to explain is like 50, 60 billion people lived on the plane before us. The
exactly.
energy's out there in the universe. So it's in and around us all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
Thomas has got another question. He's
yeah.
quite local to me, and he's saying, "What's the best place you've investigated and worked with? What's the best paranormal experience?" Which I think you've just explained that. But where's your favourite place to investigate?
If I, right now, if I can, if right now, it would probably be Preston Castle. Preston Castle is in Ione, California, and Preston Castle, of course, has been televised with a bunch of shows. I think every paranormal TV show has been there, but I think Ghost Adventures did it first. I could be wrong, but Preston Castle is, if you can look it up, it's Preston, Preston Castle. It's just what it says. It's a castle, and it's beautiful, and it doesn't look real from the outside. It almost looks like it's not a real building, but it is. I want to say it wasn't a jail, but it kept really bad kids back in the day. And as far as I know, the information was, a lot of negative and a lot of really bad people were staying there at the time. Plus, what people don't know is on that land, no more than maybe 200 yards away, 300 yards away, there's actually a prison that's right next door that just shut down. And maybe in the last year or two, or 2 years, it closed down. And this prison was filled with murderers and everything you could think of. So when you got two of those kind of energies sitting next door to each other, hey, I'll tell you what I feel. Everything I say is just an opinion. It doesn't mean it's but when you have two buildings like that side by side, it can bring anything it wants inside those walls.
I always say to people, come out an investigation, go on the public events and join in and experience it, because when you feel a temperature change or the atmosphere change, it's mind-blowing. Question from Russ Bevan, Wednesday Paranormal. Have you ever provoked the spirit for a reaction? Does it
Okay,
do you feel it's a good protocol?
Okay, so guys, I'm a very honest paranormal investigator. I'm not gonna lie. And okay, so if I can answer this, it'll take about a minute. My very favorite show of all times before I got into paranormal investigating was Ghost Adventures. Okay, I think everybody's seen it. And when I used to watch them, my problem was I wanted to be like them. So and I don't mean it rude. Please understand, I'm not this person anymore. I used to semi-provoke, but nothing bad, because I saw TV doing it. I saw entertainment doing it, and I thought that was what you're supposed to do. Provoking might be a little bit too extreme, but I don't know if I've actually provoked, but I would yell. I would like, you better talk to me now. And that, to me today, I would never ever suggest that to any paranormal investigator, but I am an honest person, and I will tell you that, because of TV, you're going to think that's the way you're supposed to do it. And so to answer your question, did I do it maybe once or twice? I think I probably did, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Do I do it now today? Absolutely zero. Because now as you grow in life, in paranormal investigating, or just the way you treat a human being, you got to treat you like I treat my man right here, my boy, my brother right here, with respect. And you know what? As you grow in the paranormal field, you find out what's right and wrong. And what's right is respect. Either here or there. But I will say this, I say it many times when I do lives, is if you watch TV shows and they're wearing a black shirt, that doesn't make you a paranormal investigator. What makes you a paranormal investigator is your heart. When you got good heart, you could be a damn good paranormal investigator if you just go into it for the right reasons. The right reasons is to find answers and to love, because we have no idea if they're still feeling pain. Maybe they don't know they passed away. Maybe they're stuck. So, So, but who's taught me that is my wife Carol. She's a great paranormal investigator. I've quit paranormal investigating many a times because I get so irritated. But I get irritated because of just, I don't know, maybe just being exhausted. But I've quit no longer than like 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, and then I'm right back into it, But I talk, if I don't answer the question, guys, I do apologize, but I hope that I'm doing okay for you, because I don't want you guys to waste your time.
No, that's fine. Claire's asking as well, what do you think of the Ouija boards? Do you think they can bring a lot of negative spirits through?
Yeah, you know what? It's anything at all, though. If you don't mind me saying, have I used a Ouija board before? Absolutely not. Only because of its reputation. It's kind of like, you know what? You don't do listen, like okay. If you know something that could be bad, it can hurt you or kill you, I stay away from it. When it comes to the Ouija board, if that is something that you want to try, go for it. But
Yeah,
do
you've
I?
got to experiment and have a go at all
I won't
what's
do it.
going on in the
I
paranormal
won't.
investigation.
No, but I will answer this. Is I used to work. Well, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if anybody knows Elizabeth Saint. Elizabeth
Yeah, yeah,
Saint. Okay, so I've gotten the opportunity to work with Elizabeth Saint for a little bit. And what happened was she taught me a few things. And one of the things she taught me when we were investigating was it's called table tipping. Table tipping is when you get about 4 or 5 people or more. You get a
yeah, yeah.
little round, you get a table, and you just, you do what you got to look it up. It's great. But Elizabeth Saint taught me that. And that is kind of like the form of a Ouija board, to be honest with you. It's kind of like an open door. It's like a portal. And you can actually bring stuff in or out. I don't know. But
We've
so,
had experience, Thomas, that's on here as well. We had, where was we? Penryn Old Hall, and we
yeah.
had a very heavy table, follow us 2 steps up the stairs.
Yes.
Took about half an hour,
Right.
but
It's
it
a
was
great
coming
feeling.
on command.
Oh wow! See, that's freaky. Because we had that same thing when we did it with Elizabeth Saint and a few of us. I was actually didn't want to touch it because I was like, oh my god, this is so. What? The table's moving all, but nobody. We had cameras on us. We had some great. It was all getting filmed with Elizabeth Saint there. And so what was really cool, they had cameras underneath the table, above us. Everybody's watching everything. There's no way in heck that anybody can lift the table with their fingertips, and nobody underneath was using their knees, their legs, their feet. No machines. It
Yeah,
was actually happening. You could hear the table creaking. It was
yeah.
making this creaking sound. But that's probably the closest thing I've ever done when it came to, someone may say a Ouija board is a little bit different compared to table tipping, but it's that's probably the closest thing I've
It's a
ever
massive
done.
energy shift for that to go on as well, isn't it? From when you've
That,
walked into the room and having that interacting with you. Might have missed a couple of questions. Eddie again from Keep Paranormal over in the UK. What's your opinion on poltergeist activity?
poltergeist.
Activity.
There's so many ways you can go with that. I mean, that again, when it comes to poltergeist, everybody's opinion, is it bad or good? I think it's real. I do believe that it's real. Anything can happen. That's why it's called the unknown.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what you're after, then you're going to get it. You're going to invite it. And that's how I feel. But, when it comes to that, it's, if that's what you want to do, if somebody wants to chase demons, I don't think there's demons everywhere you go. I think it's called being a very unhappy spirit. I know that might be
percentages and percentages, isn't it?
Exactly.
Of the energies.
Exactly.
Looking forwards, George, where would you see yourself in 5 years' time in the paranormal world?
Wow. Well, you know what? We just got done. Okay, so it'll probably be a little bit. Oh God, I can't. Okay, so let's just be honest.
If it's one for the future, that's fine.
Well, okay. So no, I'll tell you what. I hope it involves A&E or Travel Channel. And this is the reason being. So I want to explain why I'm saying this, because a paranormal investigator, and some people are going to hate me. A paranormal investigator always said, I don't want to be on TV. I don't want to. Let me tell you why I want to, and hear me out for just a moment so I can explain my feeling. Being a cancer survivor and able to actually help spirits more than a normal paranormal investigator, I feel that I could help out spirits in front of millions of people and show millions of people that it's not about wearing a black shirt on TV. It's about paranormal investigating with a kind heart. And if I could change one person or 1,000 people how to change the way they paranormal investigate, that is why I guess I want in 5 years or less like 2 months. It would be just, no, but I know that sounds really strange, guys, and I don't mean it rude. Once you get a taste of being on TV, as you could probably say, you know, you live it, you want it, you just want to keep on doing it. And
I would say it's our drug and it's our drive, isn't it? That's our hobby, and we're filling it, and we're fulfilling that hobby and the experience. It's just puts your drive to go anywhere. I go in raw to any investigation and I pick it up as I'm running along. So if I need to put protection up and stand back with the session, no sessions are the same, are they?
Right.
So when you've had the break, it can totally change after that. Another question for you. Besides the paranormal world, do you have any other hobbies and interests, which I think you gave at the start of it, which was bowling?
So if it's bowling, but you know, my true thing is actually working on my house. I love using my hands. I like yourself. I love building stuff. I like using my mind, but you know, okay, so this is going to sound strange, and hopefully people will really understand how crazy I could be. I think some of the best paranormal investigators out there are fishermen. And the reason being is because to be a fisherman, which I love to fish, I love bass fishing. When you go fishing, it takes a couple of things. It takes patience, and you don't want to get discouraged if you don't catch any fish. When you fish and you go paranormal investigating, and now I'm not comparing them both together. I'm just saying, I'm just giving you an idea to use your mind. A fisherman has to have patience. So does a paranormal investigator. If you don't, you know, and if you go fishing and you catch this little baby fish, you catch this little fish. It's not about how big the fish you caught. It's about what you caught. And if you go paranormal investigating, it's not how big the evidence you got. It's just that little piece of evidence that you got to know that there's something out there. And so to compare it is how I compare paranormal investigating. I hate to do it, to compare it to fishing, because it takes a very patient man or woman to be patient in the paranormal world, as well as fishing.
And in many lockdowns, it can all come towards the end of a session, can't it, at night?
Exactly.
In the future, George, do you see yourself coming over to the UK?
Yes. I'm gonna throw it in the atmosphere right now. I was invited to the UK a year ago, and you know what? I didn't do it because it's very expensive to get there, but I want to be in the UK so bad because I feel that you guys have so much to offer when it comes to paranormal investigating and history. There's so much history in the UK from whatever to whatever. And I feel that, you know, you guys are so blessed and lucky to be where you're at. And you know what? Even on live, you got to burp. This is caffeine, man. I apologize. I almost burped. But, you know, when it comes to answer your question I'm going to put in the atmosphere. Yes, I'm going to get to the UK. I'm not just saying that. I want to get to the UK so bad. It you know, there's times it just eats me inside because there's so much.
Like 2 or 3 years to get this connected together, hasn't it? But you know what? I've already invited you here. There's teams here inviting us down to their places and their locations already. So we've got plenty to be on and about investigating.
I think that, you know, in the UK, as far as I know, you know, it's a different atmosphere. I'm talking like people and people being in the States. I just feel that, you know, everybody has something to learn from people. We all have to just accept that, you know what, nobody knows everything. And it's like, I would just, for the UK, when I watch you guys, or I watch you or anybody that's doing investigations back there, it's so different. It's so much energy. And there's so much passion. There you go. There's so much passion. And not that it's crazy, but you know, I think it's just, you know, the world is filled with so much beauty. And if there's a way that I could get to the UK, oh boy, I would. God,
you've got a place here. You've got spare rooms for you, George, and the good lady.
Yes.
Just go back up. I'm just going to scroll back up on a question. Again, that Eddie said you've got plans. You can come and join us. Thomas has said from Anubis team, if you ever come over the UK, Jamaica, in which we've done, and Warwick Castle is amazing, steeped in activity.
See, but see exactly what he just said. I mean, not that we don't have. Okay, we have Preston Castle. Is it a real castle? No. Okay, it's not a real castle. But again, you have so much history that's based in the 1600s. I mean, I assume, I don't know, 1700s. I don't know the true history, but what I see from you guys, and I don't mean like you guys that were different, but you're so lucky and blessed to have what you have from, the castles or just the history. I mean, we have a lot of history too, but it just seems like, is it true or false? Let me ask you, is the UK, I mean, I know it's big. UK is big, and so is the United States is big too. But, what is the oldest castle or whatever location that you've been to?
I think feeling they would have been built up from the times 1200s onwards and then evolved from wood to different construction. Tower of London. I went to the Tower of London. I had interaction with spirits there from little children that were like in and around the building.
Right.
And I was doing a Reiki session a couple of days later, and I gave her a spiritual coin, and she thanked me for feeding the family, for the brothers and sisters, and that blew me away. That was like 4 days later. I got a thank you.
Wow. See, that's just crazy. I mean, that's the stuff that I'm talking about. That's where the UK is just, I don't know if you or anybody, your friends out there, don't ever get sick of your home. I mean, you guys you're so lucky. I mean, it's just so beautiful over there.
I've got about 5 folders of places that I've got on my list to go visit.
Wow.
So I've got at least 4,000 or 5,000 places I want to get to.
That you can, you know what? Something tells me you can do it, though. I think you got the energy to do it for sure.
Yeah, I'd say there's about 700 castles, keeps, and type of stuff in the UK, Wales, Ireland, Scotland. I've been to some amazing places. Dean Castle in Scotland.
Right.
And they got a lot of stuff there from Mary Queen of Scots, and just amazing. Went over to Belfast and done the Titanic docks, and it was in the basin where the base was actually built, and I could just see kids running around, youngsters. It was just unbelievable.
Gosh, see, I'm sitting here like a little child, at a circus. I don't mean to compare it like that, but as a paranormal investigator, what you're telling me, I'm like, oh my God, I want to go. It's like so bad, and feel that.
Well, I had an EVP. I was with our Linda, who's on the live, and we was in the Black Swan in York with Spook Seekers team. It was about 5 o'clock in the morning. I left the EVP running, and I just got money. And it was from like Dick Turpin days. It was a female's voice.
Wow.
And it was 2 hours after we'd gone to sleep. And it was right at the end of the EVP, and it's just like money. So they would have supplied a service to females. And I think they would have just had me off and looking after me money and gone off with me loot. Definitely.
Now, are you guys, let me ask you a quick question. I apologize. I've talked about us over here with the, I hate to talk about the virus. I really don't want to talk about it, but I'm just going to, my thing is this. Are you guys under lockdown also right now? Are you guys?
Yeah, we're just coming towards where we can go out in groups and meeting up with 5 or 6 people, but still at 2 meter distance.
Okay.
In respect to what I do with me Monday to Friday job, I've kept professional and just kept myself within doors basically as much as possible, which has been the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe absolutely. I mean, like I said, I'll just touch bases on it real quick. Where I live in Contra Costa, kind of like Alameda County, we're under pretty high. We're under lockdown, but not so severe anymore. But we're not supposed to go out to social gatherings or anything like that. But there's places no more than 60 miles away that their restaurants are open. Everything's open. You just got to wear a mask.
Yeah. Which makes sense. Another question for you, George.
Yes.
You're doing really well putting you on the spot tonight. What's your favourite piece of equipment on an invest and the response and interactions you've had with spirits at that location?
Yeah. The first answer to your question, my favorite. What I like. Okay, a lot of the equipment these days are they're high tech, a little like I don't know what. You have something with a bunch of little lights. It lights up. and anything can set it off. Okay. So my thing is I like to stick with equipment that there is like not a lot of explanation. Why did it go off? So I would have to go with, everybody that's a paranormal investigator should probably just go with your gut. Your best equipment is yourself. It's like, if you think about it for a moment, have you ever been in a situation you're doing something and something went wrong? And the first thing you say to yourself, like, I should have listened to my gut. My gut told me not to go outside today. Your gut is your
believer in throwing your gut and your energy up and picking up what's going on around you.
exactly.
What was your responses be then with your best interaction and location? What is your with the equipment? What's the best responses you've had with a massive amount of interaction and location?
Yeah, I guess I'd have to, I truly love, just having, gosh, like when it comes to, okay, you have your recorder, your handheld recorder. At least you can't argue with that. You've got the best evidence we've ever gotten is on an EVP recorder, but what I have to say this though is trigger objects. Trigger objects are something that if you're dealing with a spirit or from the 1700s or 1500s or whatever it may be, I assure you, my opinion only is those men love to drink their whiskey. So, I'll tell you, or, is I guess when it comes to trigger objects, I think they're underrated. I think that they're needed to make the spirit feel maybe a little bit trustworthy when they can trust you a little bit. The trigger object is definitely what it's meant to be. It's a trigger object to make them feel that that you're actually making them feel safe. They can trust you. And
when we had the chair set up at Antwerp Mansion in Manchester a few months back with Forgotten Era, that little minion I had on the chair, after about 20 minutes, it just pinged off.
See, it's awesome. I mean, it's trigger. But I will say, if I could not talk so much, I apologize.
Feel free.
Oh God, I know I talk so much, but when it comes to like when we know that, like you or I or anybody else that's out there paranormal investigating, I'm a huge believer in this. Is if you know for a fact that there's children involved when it comes to the other side of the veil, and you bring a toy behind, or you bring a toy to the location, or whatever you want to bring, a doll, a little Hot Wheel, is if you're going to so-called tease that child, and you know that you are, because you want to get an answer, is go ahead and do not, I repeat, please do not take that toy home with you. Leave it behind. It's my reasoning for this is, those children are children still. They don't sometimes know that they passed away. They're scared. But if you leave a little Hot Wheel or whatever for them, you've already asked them for, hey, talk to me, little boy, or whatever the wording may be. I apologize. As don't put that toy back in your pocket. Leave it there, because this is where para-unity kicks in. Para-unity to me is this, and this is just one of the ingredients, is when you go investigate, let's say I go investigate today and I leave a toy behind, and I investigate, leave my toy there, and the next person that comes in, the next paranormal investigator comes in, he or she might get more evidence that you did, because you've already captured the trust of that child that is on the other side of the veil. And that to me is para-unity, when you're saying, you know what, it's not all about me getting evidence. It's about the next
pre-left there, the energy around it. So when you go in, it can just interact straight away. And it's been in that environment for 2 days, 3 days.
Exactly.
John Tolliday is a happy 60th birthday to the other day, young man. With our enthusiasm and respect and our passion in the paranormal world, it'd be fantastic to get you over here. We have great teams in the UK, so give yourself plenty of time when you do come over.
I can't wait. I want to, you know what? Let's just go ahead. Everybody chip in $1, and I'll match every dollar. No, I want to get to the UK. Like I said, if I ever make it there, guys, I'll tell you what. I don't know. I'll probably be there for a month, because it's, it would be, there's so much to see. And I see the love that paranormal investigators have over there. Now, I just see it. I see the passion. And, here in the States, we're exactly the same. You're going to have paranormal investigators that are not the best of the best. And then you have paranormal investigators that are actually in it for the right reason. And I do believe that the UK, where you guys are at, is just, it's beautiful. 100% beautiful. And I'd want to go and check out a football game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll try and sort that out. So I can't wait for the crowds to get back into the grounds, but they're going to be playing in empty stadiums for the next few weeks.
Wow.
Thomas has said the oldest castles in the UK dates back to 1067. The oldest cathedral is Canterbury Cathedral, 597. So you can imagine the history for sure.
God, and that's what's so okay. That's where, you know, guys, when I'm told this for the very first time, my mind goes like this. It's just like, are you kidding me? I mean, it's just for a building or a piece of history to be standing for such a long time. I mean, I can only imagine just the energy, and if it's good or bad. But I can only imagine the ripple effect. I call it a ripple effect from all that time it's been there. Where all these people have gone in and passed away, and it's just my mind.
I just want to come around and
yeah.
The lovely Karen Frey has said she can be your guided tour when you come over the UK. She works with Keep Paranormal, and she's got very good links with Jane Addis, who's got her own team there and TV program as well.
Oh, you know what? I'll tell you what, guys. I'm telling you right now. Look, this is who I am every single day. I feel so lucky and blessed and loved. I got to get there, and you know what? If all I have to do is get my ticket there and back, and everything else is I'm good to go. We'll have places to investigate.
Yeah,
dang it, man.
We'll sort that out. Don't need to worry about Keep and Biggs and anything like that. Just having a little look there. John is having a little laugh football team wise and saying he should recommend West Bromwich Albion to support, but it's going to be Liverpool. Next question. Have you ever felt that you've been here before in a previous life? I'm drawn to a female with you of like a high priestess, and I feel that you might be quite hard to get onto in a previous life to approach. So if that would have traits of that in this present day with your lovely lady, so some days you just need leaving alone type of thing. But have you had any experience, do you feel, with the previous life?
You know, okay, so hopefully this will answer your question. Yes, absolutely. I do think that, you know, there's a couple of things that play into hand with that. And again, I have to say this, it's only my opinion. I mean, that's why the paranormal is so the unknown. You know, it's like, you know, okay, I don't swim in the water. I'm not a swimmer. I'm afraid of the water. I'm afraid of drowning, whatever it may be. And there's no reason for it. I feel my opinion is this, and this is just one of two, is I'm afraid that, now I assume that maybe in my past life that I might have drowned in my past life, because I'm actually really scared of water, being in the ocean, lakes, rivers. I mean, a river I can handle, but more so anything that I know that I could drown in, I stay away from. I can't do it. I'm afraid. Now, when it comes to, and please correct me on this one, Gary, is when you ever just have a moment in time, one day out of your life, you do something and you're like, oh my God, I felt like I did this before. I feel like a deja vu. I feel my opinion is this, guys, is the reason why that's happening is because we keep on reliving. Our spirit, when we pass, we're just a shell. And I feel that when we, you know, we hope that I feel that this is why when things feel like you've done it before and you're like, I've been here before, I've met Gary before, it's because we have. Or
I feel in my life, what changed my whole life was meeting my Reiki masters, Danny and Jan from North Wales. And they just put everything into perspective. The energies around me, what was going on, I understood from what they were explaining. Right. And I needed that person. And when I first met her, we were going to do a clearance. And she said, I've waited 35 years to meet you.
Wow.
She was like, blew me away. Blew me away.
Now, you're a Reiki master yourself, right? I'm not, but you are. Wow. Yeah. See, my wife's a Reiki master. And I never really knew too much about Reiki at all. I didn't know anything about it, guys, but I believe in it now. Not that I didn't believe in it before. I just didn't know about it. I didn't know anything about it. I am a hard 100% believer in Reiki. I believe in it. I just, you know, it's so spiritual. The energy is just like when I can actually feel somebody take their energy and put it into, to pass it along, or whatever she may do. And it's like, I'm having this problem. I'm feeling a lot of negativity. I'm feeling angry. That's just a small portion.
Yeah.
She calms me down.
Yeah.
It's
Bring
like
George back in the room.
Yeah.
Karen again says the physical body is just a vessel with the soul. I'm a big believer that your soul lives on until it just wants to go out into the universe and not move forward.
And you know what? I want to move forward. I want to keep going. I'm very, very, maybe I'm being, I don't know what the word may be. Maybe I'm being selfish. Maybe I'm being greedy, but I don't want to go anywhere. I want to keep living. And if it means that, hopefully it'll put, maybe I'll be I don't know what I'll be next time, but hopefully it'll be something that, whatever it may be, where I can help people still. Because that's my thing, is I love helping people.
There's a good question coming in from Claire. She said, you love Oxford and the college and all the other castles in and around that type of area as well.
In Oxford?
In Oxford.
How close is that to you? Now, I don't know where Oxford is.
About 3 hours.
Gosh, you know what? That's just that's just amazing to me. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'd probably need 30 days out there, because it's just, there's no way in heck. I mean, you're already, there's no way in heck 30 days might not even be enough. There's so much to see. Now, when it comes to when it comes to your locations, like in Oxford or castles, what do they charge? What's the dollar to get in? Like what? Like for us,
when I went to Town London about 2 or 3 years ago, it was £18 for the day visit, walk around, which is about $25.
Right, that's more than fair.
Yeah,
that's more than fair.
Would you like to come over to the UK, which you've answered, but in relation to where would you like to investigate yourself?
In where you're at, you know what? I know this is going to sound like if I could say it just like this, and I don't mean to be funny, I'm not being rude. It would be I love the word castle. Something about, now I don't know anything about when it comes to locations in the UK, and I don't mean it rude. It's because it's not my backyard. But if it had anything to do with history, anything that had, just any castle that had a lot of history to it, like something that was 300 years old or whatever it may be, that alone would be just phenomenal. I mean, just the fact what could be there, or But my thing is did you guys have? See, I don't know too much about the UK. I mean, I just know that there's a lot of history there, and as well as anybody else, but. I would have to just say anywhere, and I'm not trying to be funny, but it's just anywhere, because I would only hope that one of you guys would just say, you know what, come with me. I'm going to show you this place. This is beautiful. And I'd probably be just like, oh my God, this is gorgeous, So it'd be anywhere.
I wouldn't know how to pronounce her name, so bear with me. She's the Lakota tribe in Minnesota, sorry. In a past life, she's found herself in and around as well. So people get their experiences as well with past lives and flashbacks as well. I've always found.
Right. I think we all have them. I mean, I know there's a lot of things in the paranormal world, and we're all talking about paranormal, and everybody here is probably a paranormal investigator, I would assume. I do believe that when it comes to paranormal, you guys, we all have abilities. Every single one of us has an ability. You may not know about it yet, but I assure you that everybody that is a paranormal investigator, or anybody that's not, there's been a time in your life where you think you saw a shadow to your right, or you're walking, or you're not, you think you saw something, and some people like us would be like, I'm going to go investigate really quick. And then there's times where people they just ignore it. But it's just one of those things where, I think paranormal, all of us,
she's also said as well, she felt that she was like a grey wolf in the past, which you can see over this shoulder. I do have a wolf, which is part of my team as well. So
what?
Also got, where's we going? I've got my wizard sword in the background.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love it.
Karen, everyone's basically hijacking you now in the UK. They're saying you're coming for 6 to 12 months. Eddie does a great fry up and a breakfast.
Wow.
Oxford Castle is £12 to get in, which is about $15-20. Come to Ireland. That's especially. I've got to get over to Ireland. I actually looked at the van, taking it over, and it was like £250 just the return trip. So it's expensive taking a vehicle, but you can get a passenger for like £5 or £10 return, and you'd be taking all the equipment then, isn't it? So you could hire a car over in Ireland.
Right.
I'll go on to the next question.
Sure.
Now this, I think, is going to blow your mind away. All right.
Go for
Pick 5 people, either past or present, who you'd like to take on a paranormal investigation with you.
Oh God. Okay. So you know what? So don't get me wrong. And when it comes to can it be? See, there's a lot of people that I'd want to take. You know, I think it's only fair. Now, okay, I don't mean to pick on Gary, but if Gary takes me, that means I'm in the UK, and if I take Gary, that means he's over here in the United States. So I think that's a fair trade. Now, when it comes to, if you don't mind me saying, I've gotten lucky, very lucky to work with people that you may see on TV. Okay, so don't take it wrong when I say this. Okay, I would love to investigate again with, if I could take 5 at one time, would be Zach Bagan, Aaron. I would like to take Daryl from Ghost Hunters. I'd like to take Elizabeth Saint, and final but not far, and probably the last person, because I'd probably get in trouble. I'd have to take my wife, because she'd want to be she'd probably want to be with Zach Bagan. No, but you know what? Okay, I don't mean to be funny, but you know what? They you know what? I every investigator has something to offer. I truly believe, and just the fact being with those type of people, I mean, just the energy, because there's such. I hate the word professional. There's no such thing as a professional investigator. It's all about your heart, okay? But those people, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
If they're after demons, so be it. That's fine. It doesn't make you a bad person. It's just you got bigger nanas than I have.
I've seen so many amazing teams out there doing what they do, and it's bringing everything to the table. It's not about taking any ideas; it's learning as we're moving forwards.
Well, don't you take like again with let's say Zach or whoever, again Elizabeth Saint or anybody you see on TV. I'm not going to lie to you. I will say this: I take away one thing at least for each of those individuals when they investigate. And what I mean by that is I may see something that oh my God, that's an amazing idea, and so then I do it. See, right now, what we're doing, we're investigating being blindfolded. You blindfold yourself and you walk around, and it takes one of your senses away. If you blindfold yourself, your senses are going to be turned up, because now you're just seeing black. But you know, if it's like earplugs, if you cover your ears, it's taking one of those senses away. You need, you know, it just makes you it can make you a better paranormal investigator, just to try it different.
What I've enjoyed is when we've had a break and you've had that little 5 or 10 minutes to recuperate what's going on in and around you. I'll ask my team, I'll ask my guide, what should we run with next? What should we try next?
Right.
And that's led the rest of the night then.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's best to go with your guides or whatever you may believe in. And because, you know, the answers are out there, you know, when it comes to asking, you know, your spirit guide or whatever it may be. When I know I'm going on an investigation, let's say my next investigation is Wednesday night, in about a few days. Around Monday, I start connecting with the location, you know, I start
things
thinking
start
about
coming forwards towards you.
Exactly. And I feel it coming, and I'll be basically I'll start grounding myself. I'll start meditating a little bit more and more till I get to the investigation. But, you know, I start adjusting myself. Like, what should I use? What should I do? So I write it down, everything you should write down in a book. You know, I started doing it again. Write everything down. When you go to a location and you get something that's like, I don't care if it's a breath of a wind in your ear, write it down. Write down exactly where you were at that spot. Write it down, what time it was, the date, if it's a full moon, half moon. Data is so important.
What I found out as well is if you go back to a location, go at a different time of season. So go in spring, summer, autumn, winter. Try them through that.
Yep. Well, we do a lot of investigations during the day. Now, the only thing about, as you would know, about investigation during the day, you're going to have a lot of sounds. You're going to have a lot of, like, a car, a bird. You're going to hear a lot more than nighttime. That's why you investigate at nighttime. Is
a lot of noise pollution.
Yeah. I mean, a lot less noise pollution. But, you know, nighttime, it is a little bit more sexier. It's nighttime. It's you know it's you're able to get. See, I love being. Now I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite. I love being scared. It's not. It's just I would. My goal. This is what I want. I want to be locked down in a location. I want them to close the doors on me, lock the door, and get me tomorrow morning, no matter what. I don't care if I'm yelling like a girl or a guy. Leave me be, because I just like I like the presence of being locked in. And I got the words I like to use. You got to suck it up, buttercup. Do your paranormal investigation.
I've had many a 48-hour lockdown, and I've been left on my own by the end of the second night.
Yeah.
And that was in a famous number 30 house, but I'm not going to mention it. Claire's asked another question. Do you prefer indoors or outdoors investigation?
You know, I've done some outdoors. I like indoors, and it doesn't mean I'm right. When it comes to outdoor investigations, you know, there's again, it's anything can happen as well as indoors. It's pretty much up to you, but my choice is I love indoor investigations and outdoors. Outdoors, you know, there's, you know, if you go in the outdoors, you're doing a cemetery, which I don't do anymore. I find a cemetery is a place of rest for the spirit. I think they're laid to rest. If you see that on tombstones, they are beautiful though.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the outside, I've run into problems with skunks, raccoons, mountain lions, coyotes. I mean, we're talking animals. So I feel a little bit unsafe when it comes to outside because of the living. The raccoons are nasty, and the skunks. When you think it's a little kitty cat and it's not, it's a skunk. You're gonna run. You're gonna run fast. So.
What do you think of the Canondy dolls or any type of dolls, any encapsulations with things that they bring?
I love it. You know, again, a doll is great. I mean, if you're talking dolls, you know, the only thing I don't understand about dolls is I'm not scared of dolls, but you know, I think dolls can just be a great, I hate this word, trigger object. You know, a doll is a doll. You know, I don't think. Sometimes I don't know about the dolls being, you know, if they have a possession, you know, if I may. I don't know. It's what I believe. Can they be? Yes. But I'm not a doll fan. I'm just not. And it's because I don't like clowns.
Yeah.
I don't like clowns, and I don't like dolls.
It's not very often I'll sit and watch a horror movie because I'm just too busy.
I don't like movies. No, you know, wait, let me ask you this. When you're a paranormal investigator and you watch a scary movie, how can you enjoy the scary movie? Because you know it's a bunch of lies. It's fake. It's so fake, you know?
Have you or the good lady ever experienced any elementals or shapeshifters?
No, never. Never have. Never. Have you?
Yes, quite a few. Drakelow tunnels we're going to try and book, I think, Karen said. There's a very well-known elemental in there, and it portrays itself as quite a few things. Dennis has also said Zach Baggins is John's number one. John is his number one fan. So
okay, so
again,
okay,
because it was his 60th birthday, we've got to pass that on.
No, happy 60th birthday, young man. Hey, you know what? Just a number. You just keep on being you, brother. Keep on being you. Just a number.
And Thomas has said, I'd have to pick 25 people to take on the investigation. And I forgot him.
I know that. You know what? I get it too, but you told me 5. You know.
I'm just laughing with Karen because where you was mentioning the blindfold, we went to Falstaff and Staffordshire. And at the break time, I blindfolded her and I asked spirits. I put her in trance. The spirit came close, and I said, "Where do we need to be now?" And it took us up to the attic area, and she walked blind from the hub to the attic area.
Wow! See that? But so do you? Okay, so when it comes to being blind, I mean, again, do you feel that when we're blind, it enhances everything? It kind of like, you know, you don't know where you're going, you don't know what's in front of you. Do you feel being blindfolded enhances you as a paranormal investigator?
I would say, as you say, your sixth sense, isn't it? So anything that's heightened is just, it's off the realm. It heightened anything that you can get heightened, even when it's a flat, quiet night.
Yes.
You just take a step back and go, what do I run forward with now? And then something happens. As soon as you get the first piece of evidence coming on or interaction or equipment going off or anything, usually by the time of that, it's the end of the night.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I always try and write things down
Yeah.
blind before the night, give them to somebody, a member of the public or an organizer, and get drawn like yourself. You get them spirits and the energies, names coming forward, and I try and do that just to tie in of who's around.
You know what you can try, or any paranormal investigator, what my wife and I do now, and we've done it a few investigations now, is the night before, when you're about to go on an investigation, you know, everybody does, you try to tie into the location. You try to put yourself there. Like, have you ever just taken yourself out of your body and put yourself to that location and walk it around? Even though you've never been there, you try to guess what it's there. What we do now, and try this if you don't mind me just saying this, is the night before, if you come with a name or you someone's name that might be at that location, write it down on a piece of paper, stick it in the envelope, seal it, close it. Do not open it, because if you get that name that night when you go to that investigation and your letter's been sealed the whole time, and if you get a name, the exact name that you wrote down, and it's sealed up, that gives you validation that you are gifted, my brother. You are gifted, my little sister, you know, and that to me just gives you validation that you may not give yourself enough credit of how good you really are in the paranormal field.
I've missed one question off Phil. So Phil, can you ask that again? Right. Phil saying, quite funny this, because he asks me this all the time when we go out with Anubis, is have we ever picked up any dinosaurs evidence?
Hey, what, you know, I've never have, but I'll tell you what. That question was thrown to me. Somebody asked the same question weeks ago at another place. And, you know, that's one thing I've never heard a dinosaur. I've never heard any growling other than, you know, we get growls at a location. But, you know, the dinosaurs are one of the oldest creatures that walk the planet of this earth. And I'm really surprised that we don't get paranormal, you know, we don't get some big elephant or something that is like a dinosaur. You know, I'm really surprised. I mean, why not? Why not?
Well, what I try and explain to Phil is that there's been a land shift with the water mass since they've been around.
Absolutely.
So it could be prior higher mountains and lower valleys and all that. It's totally changed. So
yeah,
it's something we haven't had yet, Phil, but I'll get Scooby-Doo onto it.
Right.
Right, George, we've been on for about an hour and 10 minutes. Is there anything that you'd like to talk about before you go, or any questions?
You know, the only thing I always like to tell people this, and I know it sounds like a broken record to me, is, you know, guys, as you already do already, is when you go paranormal investigator, just remember this. A few things is, one, it all starts with you. What you bring on the location is what you're going to get for evidence. Okay. 2, if you're having a bad day, don't go. 3, if you can't love, now the biggest thing I can say to you, and hopefully you guys can understand this, I do it every morning, is when you get out of bed in the morning and you go to the first person you see in the mirror is you, do not forget to tell yourself that you love yourself. You got to say it to yourself, because if you can't love yourself, how are you supposed to love others?
There's always loads of love and white light. Bring more positives, brings more positives. And also as well, a little test for you as you're moving forward, George, where you say if you've had a bad day, don't go. Just think of you emptying your mind before you've had a bad day, just letting it release.
Yep.
And when it gets to your eye level, your brain's empty, so you can focus again then. So you're refocusing. So if you've had a bad day and everything's gone the opposite way, just try that as if it's I would say a keg of beer and it's running out your feet. When the level comes down, your mind's clear, so you can step forward again then. So that's refocusing as well.
I love it.
Right, I'm sorry if I've missed any questions, folks. It's not been on purpose. We just, again, so run out of time. But just pleasure having you, and thanks for taking your time out your Saturday.
No, I love it. I just want to say thank you. And you know what? I'm glad to have you as my brother in my paranormal life. I love you, man. I really do. You're a good man. Thank you for having me.
And likewise to you. So I'm going to leave it there, folks, and then I'll catch up with George just before we go off all together.
Yes.
So I'll just end the broadcast. And thanks for your time. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes.
And thanks your lovely wife as well for sharing.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Take care of yourselves. Be happy.